everyone. I'm Sasha Gilbert.
And I'm Margaret Loperena.
Welcome to our webinar on how we're helping women to not only enter the financial industry, but to find great success. The financial industry has typically been a male dominated field, but we know that women have a lot to offer and can make significant contributions to the industry. So, today we'll be discussing some strategies for helping women to not only enter the industry, but to be incredibly successful.
Exactly. First, let's talk about the challenges that women face in the industry. We have gender bias. Okay. Women in the financial industry or any industry face gender bias because they're being stereotyped as less competent and not interested in finances like men.
I
Um,
have definitely found that to be true. What about you,
yes.
Margaret?
Yes, I have. I have found that to be very true because they think that we just don't know as being females. Um, the second point is the lack of female role models. It's hard trying to stand out in any industry, and you don't see anyone that look like you. It's hard. It's very hard.
Absolutely. And because the industry has been male dominated for so long, there really aren't a lot of female role models. Now, you and I are trying to change that by creating our women's team within Virtual Financial. Margaret, as role models, what are some things that we can be doing to help women?
Well, we could give our support. We can listen to them. We can work with them um, because actually we can show them how important and how satisfying it is to work as a team instead of just being the lone ranger by yourself.
Absolutely. I think we are also in a position where we can get them plugged in to different tools and resources and make sure that they're being given opportunities for growth and development within their role in the company. But we'll talk more about that in a little bit. Was there anything
Yes.
else, Margaret, that women tend to face?
Yes, yes. Society say they face work life balance because nine, 9 times out of 10, most women they are um, head of their household. Well, not I won't say head of their household, but they run their household. They have children, or they are working with their children, and in some cases they have. If they're older, they may be in that sandwich generation where they're taking care of the college students, and they may have parents who are aging, and that can be very very difficult working.
I've seen a lot going around social media about that right now too, and just the difference between men and women in some relationships. In
Yes.
some relationships, the husband goes to work, he comes home, he eats his dinner, he relaxes, and then he goes to bed. Whereas the woman goes to work, is responsible for still getting the kids to and from school, making sure their lunches were packed, their homework was done, they have everything
Mhm.
they need, maybe taking them to the doctor. Then they come home from work and they have to cook, clean, help the kids with the homework, do the laundry, everything else. And so that is a struggle. But you and I know something that other women may not have figured out yet about work life balance. And what is that, Margaret?
It's no such thing. It's no such thing. It's life.
It's
it's,
just life.
it's just life.
I was with you in Atlanta when Sharon Lechter basically said the same thing. And that was about a month ago. And I have to say, this past month has just been absolutely incredible for me because
Hmm.
I just let it all go. I
Yes.
let go of all that expectation and the pressure I was putting on myself for work life balance.
Hmm.
Now it's just life and it's awesome and it's incredible and you fit in what you can and I've really appreciated that perspective quite a bit.
Yes,
But
yes.
ladies, it's not all bad news. It's not all challenges. There are so many different strategies that we can all take as especially as you're entering the I can't talk today. Sorry, ladies. As you're entering the financial industry that will really help you find great success. For
Mhm.
example, one of my favorites, mentorship and networking. We just talked about female role models and
Mhm.
mentors who can provide guidance and support and networking opportunities. And Margaret, there's so many other things that we do with the women in our company to just do what? Are we trying to push them down so that they don't, outshine us?
Oh, no, we lift them up. We lift them up, we support them. We basically, what you and I are doing, we're acting like mentors. We want to make sure that they hit their mark.
Absolutely. And we communicate so effectively, as a group of women, when you come together, there is just that excitement and that understanding that you're not alone in the different challenges that you face. We
Yes,
problem solve, we collaborate, and we really do make sure that the women in our company are aware of the different tools and resources that we're getting them plugged into those and we're actually going above and beyond to create opportunities for those women to really shine, to develop leadership skills, right, Margaret?
yes, and that's where it's person that professional development. That's what one of the most important things. Women should seek out opportunities to train or get trained in professional development, attending conferences in their industry, obtaining certifications, push for advanced degrees, and things like that. All of those things right there will help them.
Absolutely. And there's so much available. All across the country, there are women business centers, women entrepreneurial centers, women development centers. There are so many things available to you, likely within your own community. So you
Yes,
just have to be looking for them. And of
yes,
course, you're welcome to reach out to Margaret and I. And we love it. We love helping women to find their passion. And Margaret, I know you and I talked a couple weeks ago about how that impacts your confidence.
yes,
When
it
you've got
does.
those female role models pouring into you, what does that
Mhm.
do for a woman?
It builds their confidence. Women should focus on developing their skill and knowledge and seeking constructive feedback, not criticism. It's okay
Exactly.
to be criticized, but give them something that they can work with. That's all I'm saying. Okay, I'm gonna criticize you on this part, but I'm gonna give you something to work with, and
Very good.
therefore, I'm taking the leadership role as far as helping them build their self confidence.
Absolutely. And the more they step up and step into that role, their confidence is going to continue to grow. And
Yes,
you and I and the other people within our company, we make sure that we are just continuing to pour into them and just helping them to shine. And
yes,
that brings us to the fourth point, which is advocacy and really developing allies, not just
yes,
within your company, but within your community and within the industry as a whole. But when you have an ally, like Margaret, you and I are allies. What that
yes,
does is it really allows you to advocate for the
yes.
other woman,
Hmm.
supporting their advancement, their opportunities, making sure that they're being taken seriously.
Yes,
And generally speaking, just supporting that diversity and the inclusion, because that just makes a company so much stronger. Margaret, do you
that's
remember my story about the Obama administration?
yes,
He had a lot of women on his staff that were feeling like they were not being heard or respected. And so what they did is they started supporting one another. So
Yes.
Margaret would maybe share an idea, and then I would jump in behind her, reiterate that idea, and show support, saying,
Yes.
Margaret, I absolutely love your idea about A, B, and C because, and then reinforce her idea. That's just one technique and strategy that we women are using to make sure that we are being seen and heard.
That's correct, Sasha. And let's go to the last point on this is creating a cultural diversity or and inclusion. Companies should prioritize diversity and inclusion, such as unconscious bias training.
Absolutely. Because I don't know your opinion on this, Margaret, but I know that I have had many encounters where men are speaking to me and relating to me differently, and they
Yes,
don't even know it. They think that they support women in the industry, but really there is that unconscious bias in the very back of their brain
yes,
that is impacting them.
yes, it is.
So
And
that is so important.
yes, true. And I would like to say that um, it's not any fault of their own. It's just that that's how they're trained.
Well, especially older gentlemen, if you think
Yes,
about it, the time when they grew up and were raised, women were stay-at-home moms. They were watching TV
exactly.
shows like Leave It to Beaver and Father Knows Best and
Hmm.
Donna Reed. And so they just that was put into their mental paradigm, which is
Yes.
something you're unaware of. That's why it's
Hmm.
subconscious. You don't know it's there. And if you don't know it's there, how can you change it?
That's
Well, there
right.
are things you can do to change it, and that's why those trainings are so wonderful. So, Margaret,
Yes.
I just want to thank you so much for joining me because you truly represent what this webinar was about. You have overcome so many challenges throughout your career, and you go above and beyond to mentor and be a role model and advocate for other women in the industry. So, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Now, ladies, in conclusion, helping other women to not only enter the financial industry, but to be successful really does require a comprehensive approach that includes mentorship and networking, professional development, building confidence, finding allies, and creating that culture of inclusion and diversity. So, as you are working in your respective industries, just remember that by supporting women's advancement and prioritizing the diversity initiatives, the financial industry can become a more inclusive and equitable field for everyone where we're able to work together and all be successful. So, thank you so much for joining us. We hope you found this webinar informative and useful. Until next time, bye, everyone.
Bye bye.